G'day there, everyone. Welcome back from the Formula One season break. My name's Wally. Well, I'm Neil, but on this channel I'm known as Wally. Anyway, I'm here to talk about Formula One. If you do enjoy the content at any time, don't forget to like and subscribe. And let's get on with it. Did I even say subscribe properly? No, I didn't, did I? We'll edit that out. There's been a lot of videos out there. There's people been talking about the Cadillac stuff. There's people been talking about ongoing dramas in other teams, particularly Ferrari, and how they're going to get speed out of the car. Lewis Hamilton's little meltdown around, they should just replace me. They should just replace him because they're not listening to him, I think was the message there, and they should listen to him and Shah a bit more. But there's been something that I think has been missing, and that is a little bit of an analysis as who's going to win the World Championship this year out of Lando and Oscar, going on their strengths and weaknesses of their driving styles. And that's what I'm going to look at today, starting with Zandvoort. A little bit late to the party here, I must admit. I meant to film this like a couple of days ago, but I had my lacrosse semi-finals and that sort of stuff I was preparing for. So we haven't got there, but we're going to go and get into this now. As of filming, Oscar's got pole by that much. Let's go have a look at the track map and let's see how I thought it was going to pan out. Spoilers, pretty much as it has. And we'll go with the track maps and we'll look at the remaining races of the season. And from that, we'll determine who I think, from my analysis of what goes on driving styles, it's not about head games or anything, but on driving styles, who's more favourite to win the races and who I think will win the World Championship. Right, so here we've got a track layout of Zandvoort. We've got on this map, I hope they keep going like this because that would be nice. We've got the track layout here with the sectors. So before the weekend, I would have said that this track was a bit too close to call, going on the drivers' driving styles. Now, explain this here. I've noticed a few things over the season that on tracks with a lot of slow speed corners and acceleration zones, Lando seems to have the edge. I'm particularly thinking of watching them at Monaco here. Oscar was never really on the pace at Monaco. He really struggled out of the slow speed corners and had a lot of wheel spin, and that car was very tail happy coming out of Larras Casse and through the last corner, which name escapes me at the moment. Sorry, other Formula One nerds. My brain is not functioning properly on that one. But yeah, and even coming out of Zandvoort when he was on the push laps, you could see that he was a little bit more tail happy and a little less finessey, let's say, with his right foot coming out of the corners than Norris was. Conversely, medium and high speed corners is really where I think Oscar's driving style seems to pay dividends. Lando seems to struggle with the way he takes the corners, and like tracks like Silverstone, until he got outmaxed by trying to outmax Max. Spoilers, Oscar. Don't try and outmax Max, mate. Not going to happen for you. He was quicker, and we go back to his first win at Sakir, which is all medium and high speed corners with with no slow speed corners at all, and where he really announced himself as proper legit Formula One talent. That it has continued. Commentators have also said that there's the driving style difference there, and that's really the difference between the two. And what's leveled the playing field, again, going on other analysis from guys that are smarter on the technical aspects of Formula One than me, is that suspension change. Oscar's still using the original suspension and Lando using the new suspension, which gives him a bit more feeling and confidence in the high speed corners. So how does that bring us to Zandvoort? Zandvoort here, I would have said that Sector 1, probably too close to call, but with a slight edge to Lando. And for most of the weekend, right up until the last lap that Oscar dropped, that was the case. This section through here, the blue section, Sector 2, that is 100% peak Oscar territory. This is nearly flat out. This is a braking zone for this corner, and then a little bit on the gas, and that's a braking zone pretty much for turn 10. Now, out of here, this slow speed corner here, now this is not banked. bear in mind, turn 1 is banked and turn 3 is banked. So that really sort of levels the playing field between the two drivers here, I think. This is where I thought that all the time was going to be made up. And I do believe that in the final quali run, that the fastest lap from both drivers, that Lando was quicker through this last section here. And again, coming out of this corner here, you see a little bit of tail happiness every now and then of Oscar coming out of here, and even coming out of here on a couple of the laps. Oscar was a little bit tail happy, car more composed in Lando's hands. Turns out, was it 0.019 of a second between the two of them at the end? Like I said, probably too close to call on this track. Whoever gets into turn 1, we've had this discussion already on the channel, whoever gets into turn 1 first is probably going to win this race. No really available overtaking opportunities. Pishy little DRS zone here. And as much as this is a bank corner here, Tarzan Bocht is not, unless there's a tyre differential, you're not going to gain the speed on the DRS after dropping behind and losing grip through 13 and out of 12 by following closely through there. So turn 1 is going to win this. So for this race, we're going to tick this one up as a tick, advantage Oscar. But I would have said, like when I ideally wanted to release this video a couple of days ago, I would have said this was too close to call. Let's move on to the next track. Right, so next we have the iconic Monza. I was going to try and say the name then, but I'll just freaking butcher it. Let's not ruin that. Right, Sector 1, I'm going to go with Lando. Sector 2, I'm probably going to go with Lando. Sector 3, I'm probably going to go with Oscar. I mean, look at this. We've got the big stop here and the acceleration zone out of here. Lando strength. Big stop here, acceleration zone out of here. Lando strength. Faster through here and through the parabolica, I'd say Oscar. But I'm going to say, again, Lando to drop it on pole and Lando to win this race. Definitely for me here, advantage Lando. Right, the third offering for the Formula One coming back from the season break is the Baku City Circuit in Azerbaijan. Look, this is an easy one. I think Lando will have the wood here. Heavy braking, acceleration, heavy braking, acceleration, heavy braking, acceleration. Yeah, maybe Oscar, maybe quicker through here, but not quick enough to make much difference. I mean, this is going on this year's form and my analysis. Then this is all that. There's nothing hugely scientific to it other than what I've observed watching the races. But I think I'm normally pretty good at this. So let's see how accurate I am here. You can at me in the comments about it if you think I'm shit. Happy to have the discussion with you. Happy to engage with any Formula One fans down there. It's a good space, often a toxic space for Formula One fandom, but let's have a discussion in the comments if you disagree or agree with any of my observations in this video. And again, I think the McLarens will be really, 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 really good here. I love Baku. Proper street circuit. A few 90-degree corners. Nice little tight little twisty section. Nice quick section. And a big long straight with a big stop at the end. This one for me, 100% Lando Norris. Right, so we're 2-1 to Lando so far. And I think this track, Marina Bay at Singapore, is going to make it 3-1 to Lando. Again, starty. Again, I particularly noticed, even this weekend, that Oscar, when trying to get the power down, tends to get a bit tail happy. And what have we got here? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sections where getting the power down is crucial, especially turn 14 down here. That gives you all the speed down here to the new correction to the newish correction to the track here that I love, by the way. Was supposed to make it a bit more raceable. In reality, it really hasn't. Not sure how they fix this track. I do enjoy the spectacle of Singapore. I like it when it rains here. That gives us a good race, but it's going to be down to pit stop strategy and that sort of stuff. And look, good. Again, this analysis is completely excluding pit stop strategy and the absolutely epic play that Lando pulled in Hungary to get the win there. Because I would have said Hungary was an Oscar track and everything was pointing it to being an Oscar track. So Again, this is a very raw analysis about who I think has got the advantage on the tracks, and given equal strategies and that sort of stuff, who I think is going to win the race. This one is, again, 100% Lando for me, which makes it, let's have a look at my counter down here, 3 to Lando and 1 to Oscar, which would put Lando a win and a half, a win and 3/4 ahead in the championship. I'm not going to do the exact points. I don't do math. Right, now we start the Americas swing of the Grand Prix schedule, starting with the circuit of the Americas, the appropriately named, the Tilcadrome here in Austin, Texas. Yeah, I think this track suits Oscar Piastri to a T. This is a slow stop here and getting on the power, but it's not as tight as the corners I've really seen Oscar struggle with, like that fitty little chicane that we have at Zandvoort, or the last couple of corners at Monaco, or Monaco in general, really. Turn 16, 19, right through to 20. Oscar territory, through here. Oscar territory. Should he get ahead and after the first lap be out of the DRS zone and get on pole, I think this is an Oscar Piastri track. So 3 to Lando, 2 to Oscar. Right, continuing with the American swing here, we have the Circuit du Hermanos Rodriguez. Sorry for the horrible pronunciation, Spaniards and Hispanics, and Mexicans as well. Oh shit, I've offended everybody now, haven't I? Spanish speakers, sorry for the horrible pronunciation. Anyway, this track is affected by the altitude as well, which makes the downforce on the grip a little bit more sketchy. This is a tough one to call. We've got the big long straight with the chicane section, and then we've got another fitty little chicane section. Then we've got the high-speed corners through to the absolutely horrible and deplorable stadium section. Words cannot... So much as this track annoy me, I've had to get close with the mic. Bring back the old Peraltada, please. Again, I've mispronounced it, but the stadium section, it's horrible. This one is going to be tough to call. Tough to call. But I am going to say Oscar. No. I'm going to go with Lando for this one. Yeah, so the downforce, so getting the power down is going to be even harder. Important to get the power down here. Important to get the power down here out of turn 6. Yeah, okay, Oscar, I think his driving style and the way he deals with the car at the moment, quicker through here. They could tighten this turn up and probably make it a better overtaking opportunity, in my opinion, if they're not going to just put the old Peltada back here. I used to love that corner. Absolutely had to have your minerals on the table for this one. And again, important to get the power down efficiently out of 16 through to the neutered 17 and down the long straight. So yeah, I'm going to go... This one's almost too close to call, but I am going to go, for the sake of actually not being indecisive, I'm going to go Lando by a whisker. Right, which brings us to Brazil at Sao Paulo. Now, this track seems to provide good racing, even though looking at it, there's no real obvious overtaking zone other than turn 1. However, they seem to find a way to get past at turn 4. I've seen big dives through 6, 7, and 8. And then we have the little technical section, which tends to bump the cars up a bit, running through 12 right round sector 3 to back to the start of the lap. I'm going to say Oscar here. I really think this is an Oscar track. There's not that dead stop that he really seems to have trouble with, other than Bica de Pato here at 10. Yeah. I just think this is an Oscar track, and it's really one that he needs to start doing well in, because I think he's 4 races to 2 behind on the count now. I think it suits his driving style. Got this, a faster turn here, faster turn, faster turn, faster turn, faster turn, all the way through here. So I think from pretty much turn 3 right through to turn 7 is Oscar country. Sort of 8, 9, 10, yeah, Lando, but then the rest of the track there, Oscar country. DRS is a big thing here, the big long DRS zone, and if you can stay following closely from turn 10 through to 12. It'll follow. That's what gives this track its good racing. But keep on topic. We're talking about the McLaren drivers here. So this one for me, I will gonna call it, and I am gonna say Oscar Piastri. And to round out the American leg of the championship, we go racing around the pig. Now, the pig, Las Vegas, but the pig. So the pig, yeah, going on my logic that I've applied to everything so far, the pig is going to be a Lando track. We've got the stop coming into turn 1, turn 2. However, it's not a stop straight on the power, full power. It's through another couple of corners. Then we got another stop on the power, another stop at turn 12 on the power, right through down here to turn 14, and then on the power out of 14, out of 16. Now the cars top out here. I hate this track. I hate it. I hate everything it stands for. I love a street circuit. I'm an Adelaide boy, but I fucking hate this track. Anyway, Lando. It's going to make life hard for Oscar, isn't it? Because now Lando is on 5 and Oscar's on 3. Let's go have a look at the last 2 tracks on the Arabian swing at the end of the championship. And we'll come to my final conclusions after we've had a look at those. If you're stuck with me so far, how about you chuck us a like? Maybe you never subscribed to the channel. There'll be some iRacing content on this channel. And yeah, if these videos start getting some momentum, I'll start a dedicated Formula 1 channel. Anyway, let's get back to it. This brings us to the final 2 races of the year, the Arabian or the Gulf swing of the Formula 1 season to wrap it up. And we come to a track that I love to watch motorbikes on, that I don't really love so much to watch Formula 1 racing on, is a Lusail International Circuit in Qatar. This track, again, I said earlier in the video, this is the track where Oscar announced himself a couple of seasons ago with a sprint win here. I firmly believe this is an Oscar track. Look at this. All about maintaining corner speed through here. Corner speed. Corner speed. A little bit of a stop here, and then corner speed. I mean, we're literally flat out, other than a little lift into 13 and a little lift into 15, right through to the rest of the track. This is Oscar Piastri country. I know Lando won here last year, but I think an Oscar Piastri that is not have any soft pressure to let Lando fight for a world championship, because he is fighting with Lando with the world championship this year on form. And my thinking through this, 100% Oscar. That's my WhatsApp, not yours. Which brings us to the final race of the year. Yes, I've moved. I'm in a different corner of the screen now. The magic of OBS. Anyway, we come to the Yas Marina circuit now. I despise the Yas Marina circuit, not quite as much as I despise the pig. Talk properly, Neil. Not as much as I despise the pig, but this is the second of the Tilkodromes that we have on this final leg, or final half of the season, say. And this track's just boring. It's boring. The changes they made to turn 9 actually made the track worse, not better. I do like the changes they made here, but still, there's too much high-speed stuff through here for cars to be able to follow properly and take advantage of the braking zone here. And with all the room they have here, they could tighten this chicane up and make it a real proper stop into not so much of a chicane, so we don't have the double overtake and then into the DRS zone down here. We're not here to comment on the track, but let's just say I dislike it. I dislike racing on it on Sims, and yeah, I just dislike the track. So anyway, I'm going to go with Oscar for this one. We've got, Oscar, all Sector 3's Oscar, all of Sector 1's Oscar, Sector 2, maybe advantage Lando, but again, these corners are really wide. There's probably a little bit of camber. There's a little bit of camber here. That's going to help, as we've seen. That's helped Oscar cope with the slow speed corners at Zandvoort a bit better. I'm going to go with Oscar, which makes it 5-5. If it goes 1-2 for the rest of the season, and let's face it, there is a significant chance that it could be, it's still, even though it's only that 8 or 9 point advantage that he has, whatever it is still advantage Oscar Piastri, if you ask me. There are 5 tracks here that suit Lando's driving style. There are 5 tracks here. 5 stacks? 5 tracks here that suit Oscar's driving style. What is going to make the difference other than this is going to be strategy, the inter-team strategy there, and can a Verstappen or a Charles Leclerc or someone like that interject themselves into the mix and get in between them and cause a bigger points difference than there is. But Joe, what? Even if it does go 1-2, I'm really pumped to see this result. People are saying this is one of the most boring seasons ever, the McLaren domination. It's worse than the Max domination. How can it be worse than the Max domination or the Hamilton domination? I mean, other than the season against Hulkenberg, not Hulkenberg, against Rosberg, there wasn't, again, that's my WhatsApp, not yours. There wasn't that, there was no competition. This is like the Silver Arrows fighting all those years ago when Rosberg won the title. I think it's great. It's great how McLaren are dealing with this and letting the teams, the individual sides of the garage, run their own strategy. Yes, I'm Aussie, so I am an Oscar fan, obviously. I also like Lando. I followed Lando right through his junior career. I thought he was better than the other three guys that had come through. So there's Albon, Russell, and oh yeah, it was Latifi, wasn't it? The other one that came through that in that kind of class. Um, I think I thought he was better than them all that season. Oh, Mazepin as well in that class. Oh, gross. I mean, but that was a competitive Formula 2 field. Let's just say that. But unless someone else can interject, that 1-2 is going to be good for the ongoing season and a bit of excitement in the racing. And with McLaren letting the boys race, I think it's going to be really good. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments. I'd be interested to hear what other people's predictions for the season are. This is my prediction, sheerly based on driving style. Like I said, there's other variables that can get in the way. Let me know what you think. I'm Waylands. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next vid.